When it comes to making YouTube videos that can soar to massive view counts in your niche, it's pretty solidified that there's 4 styles that you can choose from. You've got the no face style, the talking head style, the podcast style, and the vlog style. And the differences between them are pretty distinct and pretty obvious, and you can kind of like mix and match them as you please. But for the most part, they've kind of solidified themselves as like the 4 pillars of YouTube. And when you click on a YouTube video and start watching it, you should be able to tell within about 10 seconds which of the 4 that you're watching. Now, today's video is going to be all about how to piece together, like a professional, a real talking head video just like this one, or just like your favorite tech YouTubers or review channels and stuff like that. And I personally have edited tons of talking head videos, not only for myself, but for other YouTubers and just other individuals as well. And we've gotten thousands and thousands of views on the videos that I've edited. So I want to share with you guys what to do, how to do it right, how to get set up with all the things you need. This video might be a bit long, so buckle in and stick around. Not only are we going to cover editing techniques and kind of how to put together the edit, but also how to get the camera set up, how to get all the proper gear and all the proper lighting you need set up. I'm going to try to keep it as quick and concise as I can for you guys and just kind of breeze through each of the different topics. And hopefully within about 20 minutes or so, you guys are going to have a really good picture of everything required to get one of these videos out, you know, from the script all the way to the upload. So let's jump right in and talk about everything you're gonna need to be a successful talking head YouTuber. You're gonna need a camera or your phone, preferably a camera with like a 25 to 35 millimeter lens. If you have a full frame camera, that would be the lens. If you don't have a full frame camera, do the math, okay? I'm shooting on a 35 millimeter lens right now, and it gives you that nice standard traditional talking head look that's been established for over a decade at this point. You're gonna need a tripod for that phone or camera. You're gonna need a studio light to go at about a 45-degree angle to that tripod. So this is where my light is at right over here, and it's casting in right from that angle there. You're gonna need a nice microphone like this. You can get something smaller, you can get something wireless. Just go and spend decent money on a nice microphone. Look up some reviews. If you guys want a quick brand that's kind of affordable, kind of under the radar, it's Deity, D-I-E-T-Y, I believe. They have some great products for not that much money. Also Newer, N-E-E-W-E-R. That's another great company that has a tons of camera accessories, microphones, lights, all that type of stuff for really not that much money. Now, you're gonna need an editing program of some kind. This can be CapCut on your phone. This can be some type of auto AI editor on your phone. I prefer to stay away from those kind of things, especially if you're a fan of my channel. We shouldn't be doing things like that. We want to edit the videos ourselves or have them, you know, sent out to be edited by a professional. However, if you're not a professional editor, this is the channel for you. Definitely hit subscribe and the bell, because there's going to be tons of videos I have just like this one planned out. But I'm going to teach you guys how to edit, specifically how to edit like some of your favorite YouTubers. So keep in tune for that, because that's going to be coming up soon. But if you're not a professional yet, you don't have to worry. You can still get into this. There's tons of talking head style channels that are just kind of setting up a shot just like I have right now. And they're not doing editing at all. They're just uploading it straight out of the camera. You can do things like that, and that gives it that really like personal, authentic touch where it's just kind of like someone speaking their mind about some deep thoughts or something like that. But I prefer to more so kind of craft a bit of a film, a short film with my videos, and kind of put together a bit more of a story, make people feel emotions with things like music and sound, and draw emphasis to the things I want to draw emphasis on with the editing. So those are all things that come in the edit, and they're all things that are not that hard to do, guys. So if you just use something like CapCut, or even the free version of DaVinci Resolve is super feature packed and very like not limited or anything like that, you guys can pump out some really nice and simple professional looking videos without having to learn, you know, all these fancy tricks and whatnot, just the basic skills. And now the final thing you're gonna need after that whole long spiel about editing is an SSD and just storage space in general. Get some cloud storage, get a nice 2 to 6 terabytes of, you know, Google Drive storage, and get yourself a nice, you know, 1-2 terabyte SSD that you can record on, that you can transfer video files on, that you can do whatever you have to do between your camera and your computer. And if you don't have a lot of space on your computer, you know, definitely make sure that you have a lot of external drives and stuff like that. So a decent little list of shit to acquire here, folks, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing groundbreaking, nothing that's gonna super break the bank. Like I said, you don't even have to get the camera. If you got your phone, just start with that. All you gotta do is get the little accessories around it. The tripod, the light, a little SSD for storage, and make sure you learn how to use one of the free editors out there like CapCut. Super simple to get your hands on. You can do it right from your phone, or you can do it from the PC as well. From the tippy top, here's how you go about it. And as I'm sure you've heard before, there's a bit of prep and writing involved here, guys, okay? Ooh, yeah, writing. Don't be scared. Very simple, very easy. There's tons of ways to go about it. Unless you want the videos to suck. You don't do any prep work, probably not going to be a good video. Very, very rare that it's going to be a good video unless you've got something very profound to say or get off your chest or for people to relate to. You know, one of those like once in a lifetime uploads where you just upload it and for some reason it just fucking spikes to 5 mil, but you can never hit that again. You know what I mean? You got to learn the editing. You got to get consistent with it. And basically, here's how we're going to go about it from the start. You got to learn how to at least put together a decent little script for yourself, a decent little outline, and keep things consistent. All right, so open a brand new Google Docs page. When's the last time you've been here, ladies and gentlemen? Am I right? Yeah, in a long time. Okay, so open the brand new page, and we're going to come up with the video title first and foremost, because that's going to lay the blueprint for everything that we're going to be writing afterwards and make sure that we kind of like stay on topic with the rest of the video, with the rest of the writing. Now, right beneath the title, I address the general concept or like summary of what the video is going to be all about, kind of wrapped up into one nice sweet paragraph. You can see I didn't really do that here. Oops. But we'll get onto that later. Just make your concept something that kind of wraps up and summarizes the whole video in one nice little paragraph. It should cover any major themes or lessons within the video that you're trying to get across, and also how do you want the audience to feel? Am I giving my advice on something? Am I sharing my opinion on a breaking news thing or something like that? Do I want people to feel like they want to spark a conversation down in the comment section, or do I want them to just go away and kind of introspect about themselves and learn something about themselves? What is my goal? That all goes in the little concept section. Now we're actually going to get into writing the intro itself, and think of this no different, folks, than high school English class.
Okay, I just got to go pick up my books. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
No problem. I'll be right here.
That's right. Something we learned in school actually applying itself in the real world. Let's give it up, folks. We've been waiting for this day for a long time. What does an essay intro start with? A hook statement. Something that gets the person hooked in. They want to read the rest. They're interested. They're like, as soon as they fucking read the first line, or they're, you know, they agree with you. They're nodding their head in agreement. They're like, yeah, damn it. This is what I'm talking about. If they're feeling that type of way, as soon as they start reading, you've successfully hooked them. Now, the rest of the intro after that just kind of summarizes what the rest of the video is going to be getting into, maybe addresses like if you have 3 or 4 main points that you're going to address, kind of like hits on those things and summarize them into one umbrella. So let's say, for example, I want to talk about in my last video, for example, where I talked about 3 tools that we're going to be using to kind of increase our productivity, let go of our phone addictions, things like that. In the intro and somewhere in the beginning of that video, I'm mentioning that I have, 3 tools to talk about, or I have, a solution to the phone addiction that I'm going to talk about later in the video. And that's wrapped up within the 3 tools. So you get what I'm saying, kind of just summarize what the audience can expect if they stick around and keep watching. And since we're on that topic, let's just take a look at the script itself that I wrote for my last video, so you guys can see something that's been already fully developed and you get a better understanding of kind of what I'm talking about. So you can see, like I was saying before, in the concept section of this one, got a little carried away, all right? Kind of got a little ahead of myself. I was just being a little thumb warrior and fucking going to town. Excuse me. So I couldn't really help myself on that one. But don't be confused, okay? Don't be confused by my antics. Basically, all I've done is I've taken the concept section, since I kind of worded it so humorously and I was really just like letting my thoughts out on the paper while I was writing it. I just used that as kind of my hook. And if you go back and watch that video, you kind of see what I'm talking about. You can see that concept section is basically just the entire beginning of what I'm saying in that video. You don't have to go about it like that. You can just stick to what I said before, kind of make the concept section that general summary of what the video is going to be about, and then you can actually get into the hook at the beginning of the intro section. If you just want to keep things nice and organized for yourself, you got your title, your concept, aka your summary, and then you've got your intro, the first statement or 2 being the hook. Then the rest of the intro after that basically just gives the audience what they can expect if they stick around, what they're going to learn, kind of the promises that you're going to try to deliver on throughout the rest of the video. So in this example here, the concept, generally, if I had to just sum all that crap up right there, I want to end people's laziness and I want to kill their phone addictions, because these are things that have been problems for me that I have, tried so many things to solve and finally figured out that I kind of found something that worked, and I want to share that with people. So if that's my goal, that's my concept, that's, what I want to make people feel and accomplish, that goes right in the concept section. And then the intro, you can see I'm actually getting into some explanations of why we're so lazy and phone addicted in the first place, because people are going to relate to that. People are going to be like, yeah, you know, I agree. Those are the reasons for me too, why I'm so lazy and addicted to my phone. You know, we all are kind of in the same boat. If I get people nodding their head in agreement, they keep watching, I build that anticipation, and finally I deliver, you know, that I have a solution. They stick around, they're going to get that solution. That's how you kind of structure something that builds good retention and that holds audience's retention throughout the duration of the video. And then you just have, you know, your body section of the video, which is your breakdown of those 3 tools or of those main points that equate to your solution to that problem, right? So that's kind of what you're doing here. That's script writing 101, Tommy BMP style, motherfucker. Yay, now it's the fun part. Yeah, sometimes not so much. First, you need to decide where you're gonna sit up, I should probably. First thing you gotta decide is where you're gonna set up that camera, where you're gonna set up that shot, where you're gonna get the best background with the nice blur behind you and everything like that. There might not be opportunities for such beautiful angles within your office or just the way you have things set up. Maybe consider rearranging some things and making things as nice as you can. You know, you want that depth behind you so you can get the blur. If you're at an office or like a desk space, try to keep the camera either square in front of you or off to an angle. A little bit above the eye kind of gives you like that webcam look, that kind of streamer, Twitch streamer look. You want to go for more of an angle like that. You want to go for more of a traditional talking head style shot like I've got right here. You just position yourself nice in the center. You've got your light off to the 45, a little bit above you, and the camera is basically at your eye level. So the lens that I'm looking into is directly at my eye level, right in front of me. And that's just going to give you that, like I said, that traditional kind of like tech reviewer, tech YouTuber kind of talking head shot, that Marquez Brownlee style of talking head video. Shout out to Marquez Brownlee, okay? He's a GOAT. He's a GOAT. Now, if you don't get a decent light at best, the video is going to look it's gonna look like shit. All right, so make sure you get a decent light. Spend like $50 to $100 on just one decent studio light. Get the little softbox attachment for it so it's nice and diffused and everything like that. This is the one thing that you really don't want to skimp out on, is lighting, okay? Because that will make or break the video. You can have a $10,000 camera and no light if you're just using the ceiling lights above you or something like that, and you don't really put any thought into, I don't know, adding a practical light into the shot to give it some warmth and some whatever, some balance, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It gives it that mwah, gives it that something, that pizzazz, motherfucker. That's what we want, okay? So you have that one key light in front of you, 45-degree angle. That's what's lighting your face. That's what's providing the like professionalism to you, to your appearance. Everything else you can kind of get fancy and look into different tips and things like that. Not necessary though. Just get that one light. Everything else, turn the lights in the room off, okay? Don't have the ceiling lights in the room on, and use the light. Turn your room lights all off, make it a dark room, and then just set up that one light nice and close to you. Boom, you have that professional look. Very simple. So once you kind of get that situated, you got your camera right in front of you, you got the light, and you get your nice new fancy microphone set up, and you're good to go. You press record, and you start talking your dumb nonsense, all right? That's what I do anyway. You can kind of make your own decisions, I guess. Now, if you're a bit more eloquent of a writer, okay, you can write your script and just read from it word for word for word. I'm quite an eloquent writer myself, okay? I must concur. I don't have a teleprompter, right? So what I do is I just kind of have my script over on the TV or over on the monitor in front of me if I'm sitting at my desk, and I look at it, I read it paragraph by paragraph, and then I kind of just spit it out however the fuck it comes out. That's what I'm doing. So if I had a teleprompter, I would probably read it more word for word, because I think the writing in and of itself is, I word it very nicely and I'm very humorous about it, and I kind of word my writing very like naturally, as if I would speak it. That's what I'm going with. If you have a teleprompter, definitely something to maybe invest in. You can get a cheap solution for that. I just haven't bothered. But yeah, I kind of like spitting it like half off the dome, half off the script. I kind of like that little hybrid style I have going on, and maybe I'll keep doing it. I don't know. But I think if I kept it word for word, it would just be more concise, and I think the teleprompter might help me out. So consider one of those things. But you have to be conscious of things in your writing, like pacing, like wordplay, like, you know, all these different things, like inserting jokes where they belong and where they don't belong, and kind of, as you're reading and as you're writing the video, get an idea of like, how long is this going to take for me to say? How many minutes are we into the video here at this point, kind of, you know what I mean? So if you can get an idea for those things and you can incorporate the pacing into your writing, you're going to be really golden. And this, if you're not a good writer, this is what's going to make you become a good writer, right? This is your excuse to start writing, to start toying around different techniques and just improve. Now, keep in mind, okay, anybody can read off of a teleprompter, word for word, whatever's, rolling on the screen in front of them. They do it on the news all the time. Doesn't mean they're actually saying anything fucking interesting, does it?
Well, that's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter?
My point is, don't just be a fucking robot that reads off the teleprompter, because people are not going to like you. People are not going to relate or connect with you or feel like you're human, right? They're not going to feel like you're one of them. So if you just kind of let the thoughts flow, let your speech kind of flow a little bit, or if you are reading word for word, make sure you're bringing the proper cadence, the proper emotions to what it is that you're saying, right? You don't want people to just feel like you're reading something stale and they don't feel what you're saying. All right. My favorite part now, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we add the secret sauce and we get to actually make it look like a YouTube video. And again, there's no reason in the world to be scared of this process. Many YouTubers these days are finding massive success and not even editing their videos at all. But this
there's also this
is an editing channel. So we edit over here, folks. Now you want to keep it as simple and as automatic as you possibly can. Just go with CapCut. You can get CapCut on your phone, but I recommend checking it out on the PC or Mac because the platform is so much more expansive when you're on the desktop. Now, a lot of people who are intimidated by the editing process might opt to try and do it on their phone because they feel like it's going to be simpler and quicker and more efficient. But when you actually just check it out on the PC or Mac and you get that full-size platform, you find that all the same simplicity is still there. It's just you have more room to work with. So CapCut is completely free to start. Now, they do have a lot of features that they want you to pay their little $13 a month membership for. Now, if you're looking to really, get serious about the editing and you want to maybe hit that subscribe button and check out some more editing videos that are coming up in the near future. But if that sounds like you, then I would definitely recommend DaVinci Resolve. Now, DaVinci Resolve you can get for completely free as well, and their free version is much more like a full-fledged version, like a full featured packed everything. Now, that's not to say there's stuff from the studio paid version that, obviously is restricted for that paid version. But in terms of just editing a timeline and doing the essential things that we learned in this video, it can all be completely done with the free version of Resolve, and there's really no reason to upgrade unless you want to get real fancy and serious about things. So if you're super beginner, you want to keep it light, simple, stay away from me, Mr. Editor, you can go with CapCut because that's going to be the easiest thing for you to adapt to. Now, if you learn CapCut and you decide that you want to learn more, it actually works out really well because CapCut's kind of UI on the computer is basically just a clone of the edit page from DaVinci Resolve. So they're very similar. The layout is exactly the same. So once you learn that CapCut on the PC, once you switch to DaVinci, it's going to be like, you're going to learn it really fast. Now, of course, we're going to be editing with DaVinci today, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want to take too much more of your time. This video, I kind of want to wrap it up soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go, step-by-step tutorial mode on how to edit the video piece by piece by piece, second by second. What I will do is I'm going to find someone's YouTube on video. I'm going to prospect right now a potential client for myself that looks like they might need some help with their talking head videos. And I'm going to take their video, screen cap it for you guys, and we're going to see if we can kind of trick it out with some of the foundational elements that we learned here today. And just to recap, what are those foundational elements? We're talking about adding B-roll, making cuts, doing zooms and punch-ins on, emphasis moments, and basically adding sound effects and music. Those are like the few layers that make up a complete video when they all come together. You can go beyond that and you can add animations and visual effects and all these kinds of fancy things, but that's not necessary. I think, the foundation itself just consists of making cuts, adding music and sound effects, and knowing when to like jump and zoom in and things like that. And if you do those things, you're gonna come out with a professional looking result every single time. So I'm gonna do a bit of internet searching real quick, and I'm gonna find somebody here on YouTube that looks like they could use my help. Brittany from Plan Your One Life. Consider yourself a prospect. Now, as you guys saw before, I found the perfect video to start with. She's talking about her iPad and how it's a perfect productivity tool for her to get a bunch of notes done and stuff like that. And I think I can help her really upgrade the editing going. And as you can see here, guys, she's a perfect candidate because she's got over 10,000 subscribers. And, you know, she's doing pretty well with her channel. This video here, her channel trailer's got over 200,000 views. That's pretty impressive. So clearly she knows what she's doing. She knows how to, you know, put a good video out there. We can improve on that, you know, believe it or not. If you're an editor trying to get your, you know, your feet wet in this game here, just because someone has a big channel with big views and stuff like that doesn't mean that you can't make their videos better or improve upon things with editing skills. And especially because I kind of make like these productivity, editing, business focused videos myself, I think she'll come to relate to my channel, maybe appreciate the fact that I went ahead and edited this nice little sample for her that I'm about to show you guys. And yeah, so this kind of approach works really well if you're just getting started out in the game. You want to get the attention of people that are maybe a little bit bigger than your channel. This is the way to do it. So as you can see here from before, this is the video that I want to make a sample out of from Plan Your One Life, excuse me. When I typed in productivity tips, I put a filter here, so I'll show you guys real quick. You guys want to learn how to kind of find these YouTubers that are not like super big, you know, gigantic channels. It can be hard to kind of search and find like the right size channels you're looking for. Here's a good tip for you. Type in kind of like the style of video that you want to search for, productivity tips. Now you're going to go to filters. You're going to go to this week, go to filters again, and you want to go duration here, 4 to 20 minutes. Now this is going to make sure that the videos were uploaded obviously within the last week and that there's no shorts that pop up. Now, usually when you do this, as you can see, you're going to get around like that 1,000 to 2,000 view count mark, sometimes like 10,000. This is probably a bigger channel, more successful channel. As you can see, he's got some decent animations, some decent editing going on already just from the preview. But you can start to see like you get those channels that have like maybe 5,000 views or 1,000 views, a couple hundred views uploaded like 5 days ago. That's a channel that's kind of like on the rise. They're gaining a respectable audience, and they really might be, you know, kind of in the market for some editing service. So just a super good tip for you guys. Definitely use those search filters to help you kind of find the right size channel you're looking for. So Brittany's video here, iPad Plan Your Life. This is iPad productivity tips. Get the most from your Apple iPad. We are going to make this 10,000 times better, even though it's already fantastic. Brittany's got 1,000 views in 6 days. That's great. As you can see here, just from scrubbing through, there's really no title cards. There's no animations. There's no like visuals going on where it kind of cuts to like maybe like a little background with some text pop up, right? Something like that. She's got some simple kind of B-roll shots here of stuff that she's showing on the screen and whatnot. What she should have done is maybe screen cap this, and then if she had an editor or something like that, I could design like a nice little kind of template page for all of her screen captures and put like a virtual iPad on the screen, right? Something like that. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So things like that, we can go through and we can kind of put that in, kind of show her that, hey, we got some skills here. Now, what I've done is I've captured on my video capture OBS here, 1 minute of the video, about 1 minute and 20 seconds. So what we're going to do is we are going to completely trick out the first like 1.5 minutes of her video. We're going to send her that little sample, and I'll let you guys know somehow if I get a response. All right, so we're going to hop right into DaVinci Resolve and show you guys master. I'm not a master. I've only been doing this for a short amount of time, but that just goes to show you guys while this is loading up real quick. You know, I've only been editing for 6 months on DaVinci Resolve, and I started on CapCut on my phone about 2 years ago, just making these crappy little edits, you know, just trying to get my fingers wet. But anyway, yeah, I was making these crappy little edits on my phone for like my detailing business, and you know, the videos or reels or anything like that were not getting any views or any retention at all. I had no idea what I was doing. Then I evolved to using CapCut on the PC. That kind of turned into getting a little bit more professional, getting a little bit more serious about making cuts and putting together a bit more of a proper looking talking head. Something like what you're watching right now took me quite a bit to kind of hone in that ability to, you know, feel out that style and get that kind of like that filmic, kind of like intense, grungy style that the video has. We're going to do something not quite like that for Brittany because that's not her style. She's more kind of bubbly and sweet and flowery and productivity, you know, nice modern looking text and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to try to do with Brittany's video here. We're going to go to YouTuber clients and we'll set up a new project for Brittany. Now, you jump right into the edit page. This is not going to be a full tutorial, but I'll show you guys kind of how to get set up real quick. Up here, okay, is your master. This is your media pool. First thing you do, you set up your folders, you set up your bins. So we have the main camera footage, right? So main cam, if you had like microphone come or audio coming from OBS or something, you'd make another folder for OBS, right? Boom. Now you got your 2 folders for your video and audio. Now you could do another one for music, for example, and another one for sound effects. Boom. And let's do B-roll as well. B-roll. And then also if I do any animations or title cards, do a separate one for animations. So first thing you do, you set up the folder so you know where to drop the files into, and you have a nice organized pool of stuff to work with right from the jump. So now we're inside the main cam folder. I'm going to drag the footage over to the timeline, and you can see right away when she starts talking, she started her video a little earlier than she should have. So we'll basically just trim that. First thing out the gate is we're going to make our cuts. So you want to start right when she starts talking, kind of a rule of thumb right there. And what we're going to do is she did a good job cutting her footage up and stuff like that, so we don't really have to do too much of that. But what we're going to do is instead of making the cuts, we'll go through and mark with annotations here. Look, you can make these little markers, and we're going to mark all the sections where we want to insert an animation or insert some B-roll. So we'll get this whole timeline annotated, and then once we do that, we can trick it out and do our things to it. All right, so now we got Brittany's video annotated up. Don't sleep on the annotations, ladies and gentlemen. The annotations very important. Very important. Now look, little quick trick. As soon as you get that footage in, you cut it up. Now you want to make your annotations so you know where to put the B-roll and where to put other things, right? Where to put animations, things like that. Now when you put these markers down, like I showed you guys before, you just click that button. When you put the markers down, you can actually name them. So if you click on the marker and you make sure that your playhead is on that marker, you can right click, go to add marker, just select the color you want, and now you can name your marker and put any notes that you want there. So you'll see it right up here at the top, and you'll also see it if you hover over that marker. So now you know exactly what kind of B-roll that you're putting there. You can literally just give yourself all these notes, and you know exactly what's going there. Taking the time to just do these quick little things throughout the edit is what saves you hours, because you're staying organized, you're staying on top of your timeline, and you're not letting it get all messy and just jumbled up, right? So now we have our markers, and the next step is going to be to go ahead and add those B-roll things. So quick thing I like to do for all my clients is actually make them custom like little animation video cards. So I recently did this for myself. You guys have been seeing them throughout this entire video when that black screen pops up and the custom little animation, you know, with the filmic background, blah, blah, blah. That's my style, but I'm going to make like a similar type of animation little card template for every single client that actually fits their style. So let's see if we can design one real quick that fits Brittany's style here, and then I can make little text and quick animation pop-ups and stuff that are going to have like, you know, keep this nice consistency and this professionalism throughout all of her content, and you can kind of have this nice cohesive look throughout. And here's another super useful tip for you, since I'm such a great guy. If you didn't watch my last video, you definitely should, because you'd learn things like having a little black FBI book at all times is just completely necessary. Now, in this case, what I can do is just take all those little annotation markers that I just noted here, and I'm just going to jot them down real quick because I have to close out my editor. I have to open a new program to make these animations. We're not going to get into that in depth in this video because that's going to be the next video, guys, so stay tuned. However, just a quick, stupid little tip that actually, you know, is genuine and will save you time. Just jot all these annotations down, and you're going to save yourself 20-25 minutes flicking back and forth because you keep forgetting to, you know, get that one last annotation, and you get 8 out of the 10 that you actually needed, and you're like, shit, now I got to close the program again, open back up the other program. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is coming along, folks. Okay, so I think Brittany's going to be excited. I'm excited. Let's talk about it. So remember how I said I was making all those custom animations for my future prospects and for my channel and stuff like that? Well, check this out, guys. In the animations folder here, check this out. I got all these sick animations in Brittany style, looking butter, beautiful, crystal, water, Dasani, boss. So I've got all these really cool like productivity style animations made specifically for this video, and now I can go and use this background template. I can go and use this background template now to actually craft, you know, people that are in the same niche. Now I have something that I could just go to, swap out the inserts and stuff like that based on what they say. So in Brittany's case here, I created 14 animations to go along with all these annotations here, and I just inserted them in where they belong. I cut them off when I wanted to cut them off, and I made, as you can see here in the timeline, a few extra cuts and whatnot that just kind of speed up the pace. I add some jumps and some zooms in certain places, like right here, and you guys can see that, you know, feels a bit more professional and feels a lot more put together like a pro YouTube video. So I have 2 more layers that I want to add. I'm going to throw in some like whoosh sound effects when I cut to the different B-roll clips. And then I'm going to add a little like chill productivity music in the background. And I think that's just going to really tie it all together, kind of wrap things up into a complete package. And then we'll craft a little email message for Brittany. We'll send it over and we'll see how it goes. And I think our friend Brittany here is going to be ecstatic with the newfound potential that her YouTube channel could have. She works with your boy Tommy B. Now check this out, guys.
Okay guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different than my usual video. Instead of talking about paper planners and notebooks and pens, which you guys know that I love, I felt as if I would be a little bit remiss if I didn't talk about my iPad Pro. Now, you've probably seen it in a few videos. Since I've gotten this thing, I am no longer using a laptop. I'm not even using a desktop as of the last couple of months because I spilled something on it. But that's a story for another day. It has helped me to see all of the ways though that I can use my iPad to be more efficient, to achieve more, get things done, especially when I'm on the go. I mean, let's be honest, when we're moving out and about.
Yeah, so cool. You guys get the idea. That's Brittany's new video. I'm gonna craft her a nice little email message and let's send it over and see what she thinks. All right, so give yourself a pat on the back because you just listened to me speak for 25 straight minutes and you didn't off yourself. And we just learned how to make a kick-ass YouTube video just like the pros do it. If you want to come off like one of those like professional talking head YouTubers from the tech space and stuff like that, all you got to do is keep things very bright, very white, nice bright white lights, and keep that like warm fireplace look out of it. If you want to be more filmic, you kind of add that warm fireplace look in, and you add some film grain in the edit or something like that. And you can really just keep it basic like that. It's not necessary to go beyond that level of complexity in order to succeed on the platform. Can you, of course, go beyond that complexity if you want to get, you know, a job as a really high-end editor, or you want to get a job in the film industry or something like that? Of course. But if you want to just succeed on this platform, you really can just do the bare minimum in terms of editing. Where the real work and the real dedication comes in is the consistency, the script writing process, all things like that, making sure that your message and your product here is actually polished and of value. So that's where the challenge is at, coming up with those good ideas day in and day out, and making sure that, you know, you're crafting videos that are not just a waste of your time, but are actually gonna make a splash. So with everything we learned here today, guys, I think you guys are gonna come out the gate swinging. If you haven't uploaded your first video yet, your first one is gonna be pretty damn good, probably better than my first one. So make sure you just keep all these things in check and you're gonna be good to go. You know, the first video is not gonna be perfect, but you just keep it moving. And I guarantee that, you know, as soon as you start to put these things in practice and they actually start to like become real life experiences for you, you're gonna pick this up in no time. The ability to get comfortable in front of the camera is way more important than any type of like expensive equipment or anything like that. That and the ability to, you know, be a good planner and a good prepper. If you guys want to learn how to end your laziness and kill your phone addiction, god damn it, that's right, kill, we're fucking killing it. Click on this video right here and it's gonna do it for you. All right, see you guys later. Peace.